Hello everybody, Camelia here. Welcome to a new sewing pattern review. Well, I'm wearing the toile from the pattern that I'm going to talk about today, just because I wanted to show it to you. If you are already, if you already seen my previous sewing vlog, episode 8, there I'm also wearing this thing. But I'm thinking if you didn't see that, you can see the whole review here. So today I'm talking about Vogue 1780. First things first, if you are new on my channel, please consider subscribing and don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like the video. This really helps my videos to go a little bit higher in the YouTube eyes, and I don't know, growing up my channel a little bit would be nice. So, we are talking today about Vogue 1780. I made a toile, of course, and this is the finished dress. I'm going to put some pictures somewhere here, I think, of me wearing the finished dress, because I'm not wearing it. I want to show you a few details that I did on it. First things first, so the Vogue 1780 is a really pretty dress. As you can see on the pattern envelope, is a dress with a lot of ease. They also say loose fitting pullover dress. And they also say in the pattern, on the pattern envelope, that it has a deep V neck. And the collar is extending into ties in the back. We don't see that on the envelope. Probably is on the website, I don't know. But I kept forgetting that. So when I was cutting my pieces, I realized, oh wait a minute, I need to have those ties too. But when I made the toile, I didn't have, in 3 meters, I didn't have enough to cut a size M. So in the toile I only stay stitched the neckline and didn't do anything else. This is really a toile, it's not a wearable toile, or I don't know, it's just basted together to see the fit. About the sizing, so the dress, it has pretty much a lot of fabric in it, and there are, I mean, in the picture on the envelope you see that there is a lot of fabric, but you don't really see the bones of the dress. The dress has, so is the front that is here with a cut on with a facing. Here is a rounded panel that is coming down. On the sides there is a triangular insertion, and also the back, it has a lot of ease. Talking about sizing, I had in my pattern size XS, S and M, and the M size is somewhere between 12 and 14, and my sizes, they are putting me in the measurement chart of Vogue, of the Big 5, of the Big 4, in the size for the bust 16, and then I think also for the waist, and then 14 again for the hips. But my biggest size was the medium, the 12-14. So I was thinking, well, it does have a lot of ease, but they say that, but because I'm a little bit bigger, it should fit really nicely. Well, this is a size medium, so it's a pity you cannot see me completely, but there is really a lot of fabric. Here is 3 meters of fabric, and as I said in my sewing vlog in episode 8, when I first showed this is pretty uncomfortable for a dress that it has so much ease. So first of all, the armhole is really low, it's really low. The shoulder seam is a drop shoulder with the front seam brought a little bit to the front. This is the design. The sleeves are really long, and even in the final dress I did take, I think, how much did I take? 3 centimeters, and they are still too long. But you can imagine on these sleeves you also get the really deep cuffs. So the mailman was at the door. So with the long sleeves you also get this cuff. So it's really, you almost cannot see my fingers anymore. And again, I went back to the envelope, and on the yellow one, the sleeves are pretty long, are somewhere where I get them now with 3 centimeters shorter. But on the printed version, they are really nice, exactly where they should be. Maybe this model has a little bit longer arms. So this was my size, medium, straight, all the way around, and as I said, it was really too big. Also, my waist is much higher than where this was hitting me. So based on all these things, I decided to make a size XS for the upper part, so for the shoulders and the shoulder and the neck. Then I brought from the shoulder point back to an S and followed the S armhole, and at the underarm I blended a little bit in the middle between the S and the M, because I wanted to be sure that I have enough space here in the bust. Of course, the sleeves are a size S with blended between S and M here to fit again in my armhole. The back is the same, is an S size with an XS. So can you imagine, with an XS for the shoulders. So I'm talking about this final dress, and you see how it's fitting me in the pictures. Between the XS and the M, there is, I think, 2.5 centimeters in the length here. But can you imagine, this is my size, and look how much space I have here. You don't want to know, I mean, you see my bra and the half of my belly, almost my belly button, not really, but it's really, really deep in the size M. In the size XS for the length, I had to add a little bit of lace, because even then it's really it's really too deep. And you can see my bra band already if I'm not putting something underneath. I'll probably going to wear this with a camisole, but I didn't have for the pictures proper camisole with a little bit of white lace. So I just added a little bit of lace. But coming back for the changes that I made, so these are the size changes. So I took almost 2 sizes smaller than, especially for the bones here where the dress needs to hang, to bring it a little bit in, you know, to make it a little bit comfortable. And I must say that this feels much comfortable also because the armhole is higher. I have much more, how should I say, movement. And even so, I have my back on the final dress is an S, this is an M, and even if with an S, I think I could go a little bit lower, but it's good like that. A big change that I made on the dress, as I said, also the sleeves, they are 3 centimeters shorter. I think it was better to make the slit a little bit smaller. But you see in the pictures that I'm wearing my cuffs folded, and to be honest, they are only pinned here, but I am going to stitch them down because otherwise they are also way too long. And the only option should be to make them the half of the length, because you can go as much in the length of the sleeve. I mean, otherwise you have just a little bit of sleeve with a really big cuff. So I think they are going to get folded and stitched, and maybe to have a little bit like a, I don't know, corner that is a little bit hanging. There is a really sweet button with a button loop that is getting open, of course. So the other big change that I made was to adjust the color. The original dress has these long sleeves here in the back. The collar piece is, so this piece is getting only just a little bit over the shoulder seam. It's not going all the way to the back, and then you get some really long ties that you need to cut them double. They're using a lot of fabric. But my concern was that if I'm going to put that on my back, it's going to pull everything to the back. So I skipped those, but and also in the back of the dress you have a slit, an opening. I think you can see it here really well. You have an opening with a little button, and then the ties that we can make a bow. First of all, I did stitch the complete center back seam all the way up. It was really not necessary to have that opening there, only as a design detail if you want. And for the neck, because I didn't want to have that the ties, of course I had to do something with the collar to go all the way around of my neck. So this is how it's looking now, the piece that I used in the end. The original collar piece is stopping 5 centimeters away from the center back. So I just made this 5 centimeters longer and cut it on the fold. That was the idea. I don't know what happened because my piece ended up really long. I think I missed some lines here when I made it. And I had the collar piece done, interfaced, sewn together, everything. And I put it on my dresser and it was way too big. So when I went back and measured again, so 5 centimeters from where actually I used the, as you can see, the interfacing piece that you get from the pattern. And that's actually the size of the collar if you are put it on the one that is in one piece with the tie. So I used that, added 5 centimeters and cut it on the fold. But if you want to cut it on the fold like I did and to have it all the way around, you do need to close that center back seam. So, or if you want to keep the center back seam, you could also, you can cut this with a seam and then put maybe 2 buttons here on the collar piece, but it's not really necessary because this thing is really so big, you can go completely in. So this was the collar piece, and to fix my mistake, because I didn't want to cut again other pieces interface and all that, I just opened it a little bit and cut the piece what was too much and just have a seam in the back of the neck. You cannot really see it. I just wanted to show you how I finished the seam at the back neck. I intended, so this is the collar how it's looking in one piece. Again, I have a seam here because I made a mistake, but normally I would cut this on the fold. My idea was also something very important. When you put this collar, if you are adjusting your seam allowance from 1.5 centimeters, what is included in the pattern, if you adjust that to 0.6 millimeters to 6 millimeters, it will work so easy. Also, so on the neckline of the garment and also on the collar, I did that. I took my seam allowance back to 6 millimeters, and that is 1/4 of an inch, and that worked really nicely. My idea was to sew first one part of the collar, and then the second part to turn the so the inside collar, to turn the seam allowance and to baste it, or to make it to top stitch it or whatever, you know, to finish the neckline. But I forgot that, and I just put it everything, both layers in one time. So I had to finish this with something, and I just bound the neck, the back neck seam with a piece of bias. Oh, it's also a challis, and it worked really nicely. And now I have also a little bit of color here inside. So this is what I also wanted to show you on the how to finish the new collar piece. So that was the color. Really a really small change. I think I like it much more like that than with the ties that are hanging on my back. I'll go crazy to have those things hanging everywhere. So this is the dress. Again, I think my conclusion is with this pattern, it's very swishy and very nice. This one is just too big, but this one, the final one, is really nice to wear. And the only down part would be that you really need to wear something, or I need to wear something underneath, because otherwise I'm going to reveal everything. And but I really like the shape. My conclusion, my advice to you is, if you consider to make this pattern, please make a toile. Don't go from what I'm saying that I had to do 2 sizes smaller almost. Just make a toile and decide on yourself, because there is a lot of ease. There is a lot of ease. The V-neck is way too deep, or way too deep, it's very deep. And I was thinking about the V-neck, that with a little bit of, this could be adapted, I think, and just sew them together by changing the pattern a little bit, that you get to sew this together. And then, of course, you don't have this opening anymore, and you have a much, I don't know, it don't have to be, for me at least, don't have to be till here, but just a little bit to cover my brow will be nice. So probably I will try to adjust this to give a little bit space here, sew them together, maybe 5 centimeters high, and then use to have a lesser deep V-neck. Something else they do advise here, poplin and lightweight linen. I think the poplin is going to give you a really voluminous dress. I mean, you can imagine here is 3 meters of fabric. If this is something that is staying away from the body and is not draping, you really see that. I mean, even in this one, that is much smaller, it still has a lot of fabric in it. And I think the best fabric for this should be something like a crepe or like a challis. This is a challis, this one also, that needs to be really, really drapey and really, really light to, you know, give you the swishiness, but not to stay like this. So this was Vogue 1780 from me. I don't know, it's a nice pattern. It was, I made it in a day. It's really, really easy to make actually. Once you have the fitted, once you fitted the pattern, it's really easy and actually fun to make. There are some nice splits in the sleeves and the rounded seam and everything is coming nice together. But again, beware about the sizing. Make a toile. Don't start cutting this in your best fabric because probably you are going to regret a little bit. So this was it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and if you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, as usual, put them here under the video in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Take care and see you soon on the channel. Bye!